So here we are, part 5. I honestly never thought I'd be talking this much about fuel injection, but you made it to part 5. We've gone through pretty much the whole system, fuel injection system, 8-stack constant flow mechanical fuel injection. Looked at a lot of different things, how the system works, some few little tricks to tune the system. So I've been kind of promising for a while now. I'm going to show you how you set up for your initial startup a good tune to fire the engine and get you in a good position where then you can start doing the fine tuning, which obviously has to be done trial and error. You run it, collect some data, make some adjustments. So in this segment, this first part, on part 5 here, I'm going to show you the software I was talking about. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to take you to the office inside, and we're going to take a look at the software to get your system set up so you know what size nozzles to use, you know what size pill to start with, and we'll talk again after that. Here it is. So here we are to the part that everybody's been kind of waiting for, which is where we get the numbers to calculate to get this engine running, at least a good starting point for it. So if you go to your search engine, you can type in fuelinjectionent.com or just Fuel Injection Enterprises. It takes you to the FIE website. These guys have been doing racing, so they've been involved with racing for decades. So they've got all kinds of products and stuff that, you know, you might find other things of interest to you here. But what I want to point to is over here on the left, they've got a number of things in their menu, and you come down here, here's a section that says calculators, tune-up. There's about 6 of them there, I guess, but tune-up is the one we're going to select. We'll hit click on that, and here is an article that Spud had written regarding these tune-up calculators. He actually, the gentleman that owns the company, at least that's how I understand it, wrote all these programs to do this. So he's got some good information there that I suggest that you read. It tells you what your expectations should and shouldn't be for using this calculator. So the first time, if you go to log in, you can't get in. You need a password. So if you haven't been registered before, click this little guy down here. Just click that, and it just tells you to go to the Contact Us link, ask for access, and the Contact Us link is over here. You just click on that, send them an email, and they just ask for, tell us what kind of racing you do, a little bit about yourself and your vehicle. Okay, easy stuff. I mean, they're not going to sell you anything. They just want to make sure that people aren't trying to hack their website, is all. So anyhow, you should get a response. I think I got mine within just a few hours, depending on what time of day you send the email, I suppose. So that brings you to this calculator. Now, this is really good stuff for those of us that have these mechanical fuel injections, because, you know, instead of having to get out a calculator and remember how you do some of these calculations and how everything plays together, the hard work has been done for us. So let's just go on. I'm going to throw some numbers in here, and we'll take a quick look at what it'll do for us. So the first question, what's the engine displacement? Okay, so I got a 377. Punch that in there. Percent of nitromethane. So it's 0 on this. And this calculator, just so you're sure, the calculator is for methanol. If you're running gasoline, you're going to have to look for another source, because I'm not really sure where to find one of those. But this is for methanol. Fuel temperature, 65 is probably a good number for comparison purposes. We'll just put some numbers in here. 65, I'm in Florida, you know, everything's hotter here, it seems like. Now the fuel pump flow, mine was 3.12, I think, as I recall, and that was for 4,000 RPM. And remember, I talked about it, if you buy a new pump or you send it in for service and have it flowed, it'll come back, it'll have a tag on it, and it'll have this information on 1,000 RPM, 2,000, and 4,000 RPM, and that's pump RPM. So 4,000 RPM of the pump is 8,000 for the engine, right? But that information will be on there, at least 3 or 4 separate data points, and it'll tell you the gallons per minute of flow and usually a pressure as well. So that's the data from my pump. The next item is the fuel pump drive ratio. We're running off the front of the camshaft, so it's 0.5. If you were using a belt system, it would just be the ratio of the belt, right? So typically it still would be 0.5, but you know, if you change the pulley on your pump or the drive, you know, you just would use whatever that ratio is. The metering valve type, I don't think you can probably see this one, but it has Enderley Cube. That's not what we have. Enderley K style. That's not what we have. And here it says Hilborn/Kinsler, and that also includes actually the Crowder stuff. So that's the type metering valves that we have. The nozzle size. Let's just put in the .030, and then of course the nozzle quantity is 8, and the volumetric efficiency. We talked about this a couple of times. That is how efficient your engine is of being able to completely fill up the volume of one cylinder, well, all of them, but of a cylinder with the cubic inches of that cylinder, expel it and fill it up again. So if you've got restrictions, and obviously there are from, you know, the ports and the back sides of the valves and things like that, you may not be able, say you've got a cylinder that's, what is it, 60 cubic inches or something, say 50 cubes. You got 50 cubes, that'd be a 400 engine, right? 50 cubic inch cylinder, and on every intake stroke, the faster and faster you go, it can't get 50 cubic inches of air in it fast enough before the valve closes. So your volumetric efficiency is going to be less than 100 on most engines. But to be safe, if you put 100 in there, that means these calculations will be done for your fuel delivery based on 100% volumetric efficiency, which means if you're off, if you put your VE in here and it's a little too big, like 100, you'll be safe because it'll be giving you the amount of fuel that would be required if you did have 100%. So that's a good place to start. You can go in and adjust that once you see how the system performs. Air temperature down here, oh my gosh, it's always 90 degrees. It seems like in the summer months anyways when we're running these cars. Barometric pressure, you know, I am right by the ocean. We'll say let's say 30.12 just for the sake of argument. And the relative humidity, it's like 55%. To get this data here, you know, a lot of guys will have, you know, a little personal weather station with them. But if you're just, you know, just hot rodding around the neighborhood or whatever, look on your phone. Most of the weather sites on your iPhone and that, they will give you this information. Usually scroll down, they have the barometric pressure and the humidity and stuff. You know, it's not going to be spot on, but it's probably close enough if you're just, you know, hot rodding around with your car. Okay, we're going to hit calculate. Bam. It gives us this information that we just typed in, and then these are all the calculated results. It gives us the air density, corrected for altitude, the air-fuel ratio, 5-to-1. That's a little on the rich side, but that's where we want to be with the methanol. Methanol can run richer without sacrificing a lot of power. So, I mean, that's a good number to use. Let's see, specific gravity. This is the specific gravity of your fuel based on the temperature we put in there. So it's 99.9% pure methanol. This is the specific gravity at the 65 degrees, right? Here we have the air required, air consumption, fuel consumption, and I think Spud points it out in that description before you get to this. The horsepower that you can expect out of the engine is usually pretty close to the pounds of fuel per hour that's consumed. If you're running an efficient engine, it's going to be a close number. So my motor, I could expect maybe 700 horsepower out of it. And then required fuel. 1.8 gallon per minute. You know, my pump puts out 3.12. So I'm well within it. I'm only using 59% of the pump. Remember we talked about making sure that you size the pump sufficiently large enough so that you'll never need to use its full capacity. Well, this just says I've got plenty of pump. I'm only using, you know, almost 60% of it. So now here's the part that everybody wants to see, right? What is the optimal main jet size or pill size? An 069, so we'd make it an 070, right? But look at the pressure, 75 PSI. A lot of folks will tell you this is at 8,000 RPM, which means, you know, if you're at 6,000 or 6,500 or whatever, I don't know, you know, wherever you're doing most of your pulling at, this is going to be probably too low. It's going to be, you know, maybe down in the 40s or 50s or something. We like to see that at the high end of the motor. Like to see that closer to 100. So with the 070 pill, and I say 070 because, you know, I don't think you could find an 069, but, you know, maybe you could have one custom made. But let's just say we change the nozzle size first. Let's change this nozzle. Let's see, we picked, what did we have in there for a nozzle? We had said 030 for the nozzle. Okay, so let's go through and change that. Now, don't go back to the back button over here and hit back, because you'll have to re-enter everything. If you hit this little square up here, this little X, it'll take you back to this. All the information is retained in there. We can go right to this guy. We'll change it to 28. What would happen if we had everything the same? We went to a 28 nozzle instead of a 30 and click it. Bam. Okay, look at that. So we can make our main jet size go down just a little bit with 065, and of course we probably have one of those in the, you know, in our toolbox. And the pressure 97.5. That is like really good. So that is where you would want to start for this engine. That's where I want to start. I'm going to set up with and again, that's looking at, you know, these inputs of the temperature and all that kind of stuff, right? So if it was a really cold day, well, let's just see what kind of change. And I haven't done this for a long time, so it'll be a surprise to me too. Let's just say it's a really cold day. Say the air temperature is, say it's 65 out. It's a cold day in Florida. Barometric pressure, I don't know how that would affect that. And say we've got 40% humidity. Let's see what difference that would make. I don't know if it'd make any. Look at that. So that colder temperature, the pressure went up to a $112. Actually it's suggesting a smaller jet size yet. So anyhow, that just gives you an idea of what's available with these with this software. You can play around with this stuff for hours and change a lot of things and get an idea where you want to start, especially if you haven't purchased a bunch of your components, you haven't purchased your nozzles yet or whatever. This will give you a really good place to start. So anyhow, it's Fuel Injection Enterprises, and full disclosure, I have absolutely no business connection with Spud Miller or FIE. I just think it's an awesome tool. I think it's great that they offer this for users, for racers, for hot rodders, to use it without any charge. And obviously they're really good at a lot of things, especially magnetos. They're really big into magneto testing and tune-ups. If you need your pump flowed, you can send it to them. But again, this is a really good place to start for your mechanical fuel injection. I think that's about all I've got to say about it. I hope you get good use out of it, and we'll see you in a bit. So at this point, you pretty much know as much as I know about the system. I did say that we're going to fire it up and we're going to watch the engine run. I still want to do that. I'm not really ready to do that just quite yet. We've been busy with work and such. Had a couple of people ask me, what is it that you do? Probably should have introduced myself, 4 parts ago, but I have worked in the shuttle program until that ended as a vehicle engineer, a shuttle engineer, communications. I was instrumental in doing a lot of the engineering that installed the wireless video system, which is how we got those awesome pictures live shots of the assembly of the International Space Station. So it's been a little while. I work for NASA now. I was a contractor. I work for NASA now. I have been for a number of years. Was a NASA test director, and now I'm doing more of a management role. But it's been a good run. I've been at Kennedy Space Center for 37 years, I think, something like that. It's been a good career. I'm getting kind of tired. I still like the hot rod. I've been working on this car since I started working out there. So that's almost right. So I've had this car more than 20 years. Still playing with it. Haven't really finished it, to be honest with you. There's always something else more important. Life gets in the way. So anyways, my name is Randy Wade. I hope that the information I shared with you has been useful. There's a lot of things that I wish I would have known about early on. And like I said, that's kind of why I started doing this, is I was doing a little research on my own, and I didn't find anything that really kind of went through the process to say, to show me how the system worked. So a lot of it was trial and error. So again, I hope you get good use out of it. I did promise I got some more videos. We did, it's been a number of weeks ago now. It was actually back in March. I went to the Gatornationals. I had mentioned that in one of the segments. So I got a little clip. It's not a big deal, but I thought I'd show it to you. It's kind of fun. We went in through we got a chance to go through the FTI funny car, their pit, their trailer, and they gave us some great hospitality. It was really a lot of fun. Now the fellow that you'll see in this clip here, Eric Hansen, he's actually moved on to another team. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see him again at one of the other races this summer perhaps. But anyhow, so we're going to show you that, and then I'll come back and we'll talk a second before we shut it down for this part 5.
That's good. Well,
Hey, how you doing? That chicken and rice is pretty good, huh? You're going on your way.
they do a lot of clutch stuff.
Coming
back
this way
here.
up,
Oh, watch out.
and we're in the way. Sorry, man.
Mono does the clutch, and this is his. How you doing?
Good. So what's the hot setup of the clutch today?
That would be top secret.
Okay. All right, I have to kill you, right?
That's it.
Hey, I honestly work for the government, so it'd be okay.
Oh, perfect. No, every clutch setup's different for every run. So
Gotcha.
Depending on the
So look at
air,
his temperature,
So right now,
humidity.
obviously, the funny car, we're having a hard time getting down the track. So what you do is you kind of just back it up, just so you can get off the line, and then you go.
Awesome.
So basically, today it's just A to B runs, to be honest with you.
But the pressure that you apply that's all computerized, right? I mean,
there's two things.
to an extent.
It's mechanical, and then it's hydroelectrical. So then you got hydraulic throwout bearing over electrical timers, but then you have centrifugal weights that play into it. So
Okay.
the throwout bearing actually holds the fingers back.
Yeah.
So as the throwout bearing retracts with the timers, which are electric, it actually retracts that and lets the lever stand up. The heels dig into the pressure plate. This is the
And I don't want to take your time.
No, it's
You
okay.
got stuff
Pressure
going on.
plate, and then this actually collapses the pack, and then which applies the force on the pack, and then typically around half track you want to be 1-to-1, so one revolution of the motor, one revolution of the drive shaft.
Awesome. You don't mind me filming you, right?
Not at all.
What was your name?
My name's Mono. M-O-N-O. Mono.
No, okay.
Yes, sir.
You gonna be on YouTube? Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Well, I got a little, I do some stuff on fuel injection, so
nice.
I'd like to thank you guys for showing us around. So
Have a good day.
appreciate it. This is Eric. Eric is the number 1 person, number 2 person. I don't know.
This is all pistols and rods. They do that all here. All the single heads over here.
So what do you do with the scrap rods and pistons and stuff?
You junk them.
You got a junk one laying around?
No. Yes, we don't.
No junk rods. Dang.
Well, we give them away. We give them to little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple at home for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I need
I
8
still
of
got
them.
one from
I need 8 of them.
95 that do that. Said we could come back and
Yeah,
barbecue it.
yeah.
I still have that.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead. Oh, look at that. We use the rods. Use rods for everything.
All the parachute stuff. Two motors ready to go.
2 motors. Wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta get in on this. Look at that. 2 motors. They're ready to go. That's awesome. Now we're 500 cubes. Is that right?
500 cubes.
We're limited at 500.
Yeah, limited. 500 cubes.
As much nitro as you can pump in the thing, though.
90% is a must.
Oh, really? The rest is methanol.
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually do 89.5 is average.
Yeah. And you guys, do you custom mix the fuel depending on conditions? No, I mean, does it change at all? I mean, from run to run.
This is our mix master.
This is our mix master.
He mixes all the fuel for us.
You're the fuel expert?
No,
You mind if I film you?
no, I am the doctor of fuel.
Yeah, fine, doctor.
Anybody can mix fucking cocktails. I am the doctor of fuel.
Now I gotta change my channel to R-rated because you dropped the F-bomb.
That was an F-bomb. What do you call it? It's everyday conversation.
It was a cocktail, that's all. And you mind?
Mix your own nitro and mix that
What's that cost a barrel?
1800 for a drum of nitro.
And then every time I buy somebody a drum of nitro, they don't kick me the 200 back.
Can I ask your name?
Dr. Raoul.
Dr. Raoul. Okay, thanks, Dr. Raoul. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Doctor of fuel.
The Doctor of Fuel. Oh, remember, you mind if I put your face on my Facebook channel?
Not at all.
All right, thanks, man.
As a matter of fact, I got out of the witness protection program years ago.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate
Good
it.
to be here.
Well, there you go. There's a quick look at the FTI trailer here at the Gatornationals 2023. 16 inch, right?
Yep, these ones are done.
These are done? Is that what you said?
Yep. And then
Oh, I see a tear in this one here.
this is one of the new ones I'm putting together.
Say that again.
This is one of the new sets on
Awesome.
on the rim.
And of course, is it bead locked on both sides of the rim?
That's the only thing holding it on the rim.
Say that one more
That's
time.
the only thing holding it on the rim.
But it's bead locked on both sides, though. Okay. Awesome.
Torque,
1200 bucks.
25 pounds.
On each of the bolts all the way up.
And then after each one, you torque it off.
Really? They loosen up while the rubber
move.
gives, I suppose.
Yeah, because when they hit the gas,
It twists, right?
To get the wheel speed up.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. What do you think, Kev? Pretty good day at the races.
Great
All
day.
right.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it, buddy.
Good one.
I just want to take a quick look at this manifold here. So are you the tech that does the manifold stuff?
No.
No? So I'm particularly interested in the injector setup, right? So the injectors go into the manifold, but there's a whole other set that goes into the to the top of the blower, right? Yeah. And where do those nozzles go? Those guys are right in here, right? These are the nozzles. And then that's the distribution block for them. And then it's your barrel valve here, right? Yeah. Barrel valve. And then where's the pump? So the pump is on the front. And what size pump do you use?
Big one.
You're supposed to say a BAP, right? A big ass pump. And there it is right there. The blower drive valve is kind of in the way, but it's crazy shit. Big stuff. That's good. That's good stuff. These guys are working feverishly to get this thing ready for tomorrow, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, good luck to
Stay
you.
here tonight then. Who's staying here tonight then?
Everybody.
Stay here. Tonight?
You stay here tonight?
No.
No, okay. You staying in a hotel or something?
You
Okay.
gonna stay here then?
Anyways, pretty hot setup here at the Paul Lee Racing booth. This is the Paul Lee Racing tank, right? Merritt Island, here in Florida. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah?
how long?
He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Paul is?
Paul, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, hey, thanks for letting us show around a little bit here. You don't mind if I put your face on my Facebook page, do you?
No problem.
Okay, cool. I just some badass shit. We'll be watching tomorrow, okay?
All right.
We'll be watching tomorrow. All right. Okay, so I'm not really sure how the witness protection program came into play there, but obviously they got a fun group that they have work with on that team. I'm still going to do at least one more part. This is going to wrap it up for today. These get too long, and I don't want to bore people, too much. I will do at least one more part. We're going to fire the engine. I'm going to show you how the wideband monitor works and what we look for with that. And it may not, I still may need to do a little tuning, but we'll do that for the final one. And of course, I've got some other videos out there too. And if any of this has been interesting, helpful at all, please let me know. I enjoy reading some of the comments. Well, all the comments. I haven't had any really bad ones yet, but I enjoy reading the comments. Am interested in what other guys are doing. I know this is old technology, and there's a lot of, it depends on where you're at, right? If you're an older guy like me, you kind of dig this stuff still. The younger guys are, we're doing LS swaps, and we're all computerized, and that's cool. I mean, they're making some huge power, some mammoth power with small cubes. But if you found this interesting and that was helpful to you, help me out a little bit. There's a link down below in the description. You can click on that. You can help me out if you feel like it. If you do a like and subscribe, that'd help too. I'm new at this. All of these segments have been unrehearsed, unscripted. I did prepare a little bit with some, a couple PowerPoint slides and that, but that's why I do a lot of humming and hawing, right? Because none of it's prepared. This is all off the cuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.